Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And how often do you guys think of the Roman Empire?
All the time.
Gosh.
I was thinking about it right now.
Oh,
Literally.
Can you
why?
imagine if they did chariot bank races with banking? That's how we tie it into motorsport.
Oh my god, that could have been a great idea.
Can you imagine? You just see
How do you think they didn't?
fucking.
'Cause you
I
have
don't think they had
banking-
the technology.
yeah. I mean, all you need for banking is just
yeah.
piling up dirt, Steven. So
I know.
That's exactly what I was
but-
going to say. Smoothing
but
it
they
over,
would-
piling up dirt, and smoothing it. I'm sure they had banking. I bet you they
don't think-
did.
Maybe I don't know if they had
$5.
the coefficient for the banking.
imagine super speedway pack racing with chariot racing. Oh, think they did a 2-horse tandem or two chariot tandem.
How would they bump draft?
Oh gosh, bump drafting. No. Someone.
You think there was the
T.
big? Was there the big one in chariot racing?
Oh, 100%. One horse just breaks a leg,
Or
falls over. The only
16
difference is
other ones going over there?
there's way more blood.
Okay, it's unclear as to whether or not there's.
Did you look it
banking.
up?
Of course I did.
Chariot racing, Control F, banking. No banking.
I mean, it makes sense, really.
Okay, I would have to read more into this at a different time.
Okay, what
Don't
current NASCAR track would be best for chariot racing?
The Coliseum.
I was gonna say Martinsville, but yeah, fuck that works.
Like, fuck, come on.
It's like, why are you thinking about this? Obviously, it's the Coliseum.
The Coliseum or Bristol, the last great Coliseum.
God damn it, you beat me to that.
There's
joke.
two easy answers. Come on.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So-
The funny part is, Sean's had that in the fucking in the back, loaded, ready to go since like 6 a.m. this morning.
Not at all, not even.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it was just now because, like, did you not see his face when he was like, I just thought of something so good?
Exactly, and Steven beats me to it.
Duh.
Son of a bitch.
Boo you.
Anyway, so the answer is yes, the Roman Empire, always.
Always.
Never.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. Did you see what the women equivalent is to the Roman Empire?
No.
What?
Murder.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Facts.
Exactly.
Sean, ask your fiance how often she thinks of murder, and then
Daily.
she'll say,
Did
she'll
I
say in
think
general
of
or
murder
just you.
today? Did I think of murder today? I did when I opened the group
Mhm.
chat and saw that someone suggested golfing on your wedding day.
I did not suggest it. I
I
merely
was
encouraged
sharpening an
it.
axe. Let
Yeah.
me tell
I
you.
merely encouraged it.
Listen, you'll take an axe to the balls if that happens. So there's multiple people that will line up for that. Taylor, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thrown under the bus regardless of what side I end up on. I may as well go for 9.
You're supposed to be on my side, and I say don't play golf.
You know they're still going to anyways.
No, they're not.
Okay.
Okay, who is this? Oh, you know what?
Like literally all the groomsmen plus Sean's dad. Well,
It's
sorry,
not
all the
going to
groomsmen.
happen.
Yeah, it's not going to
Like,
happen
you
because I'm
can't
telling you
do
right
it.
now. They're
I haven't been given
No.
a timeline for the morning yet, so as far as I'm concerned, there's a
The
3-hour
answer is
window
no.
where we definitely can.
I know for a fact
No, there
also
is
who's in
not.
charge of kicking people out, so I'm pretty sure it will not happen.
Anyway, racing this week. So we had a fantastic freaking day because Red Bull's streak was
Yay.
ruined.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I thought you were just going to mention being at the track and doing your marshal.
I'll
work.
get
Okay.
that. That's a future thing. Yes, but we had the stuff people care about, which is F1. Verstappen finally lost a race.
Yes. Very true.
Motorsports
Womp
World
womp.
rejoice.
Yep.
Except
And-
the
It
other
finally
ones.
happened.
Yep. And then we have
It was bound to happen.
NASCAR. We had a great playoff race that people didn't like, apparently,
Yep.
which is
Ooh.
stupid.
Okay.
There's reasons which are
Um,
semi-valid.
And we got some fun Indycar news today that came down. So
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
probably
I
save
forgot
that for last.
fun.
So I think
Unexpected,
we
I would
start with the
say.
best part of the weekend,
Okay.
which is F1.
Okay.
I mean, that gives way more joy, Taylor, than us talking about our time at the track. So
Why does that bring so much? I disagree, but okay.
we'll get to that
We're
later.
in. All right. I
We'll
was
give
gonna say
our
now that
story
you're
time later. Let's start with
story time
F1.
with Donna Taylor. Okay,
Yes.
we'll start with F1. Yay!
We'll do
Claps.
we'll do the Marshall Matters part later. Stephen, don't you dare shake your head. That's a great one.
That's bad. Never mind.
Uh-huh.
Marshalling matters.
Yeah.
Marshals matter. Okay.
But you have to do it in a rap battle form. Hey.
Because that's what people want to come and see. 3 white people try rap.
God damn it. Okay, fine. Anyway, F1. So,
F1. Yes. Woohoo. 3 cheers. Max Verstappen came in 5th.
yeah.
Woohoo. And Ferrari had a good day, finally.
Yes, Taylor, you could rejoice. Ferrari won a race when Chex notes you weren't paying attention to it.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all miss the race of the season. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, honestly, I watched it today at work.
Please skip
Yeah.
more races so I can enjoy it in my Fortress of Solitude.
In your Fortress of Solitude. Wow.
I'll skip the next one too, just for you,
Okay.
and you can tell me how that one goes.
No, because I just realized what it was and what happened last year. So no, pass.
Nope. You told me to
Someone-
skip it, Steven. I'm skipping it.
Someone
You
someone
have to
else
watch
can
it. Nope.
someone
you
else can
asked
skip
for
and
it.
watch that shit. No,
Oh,
not doing
Japan?
it.
Yep.
Not doing that shit again.
Do you have bad memories, Steven?
I don't have any memories because I'm too sleep deprived.
He still
Still
hasn't caught up
catching-
from that.
Still catching up on it.
So, F1. Where do you guys want to start talking about that? Do you want to talk about how great Ferrari was for a weekend? How Mercedes bottled it and choked? How Red Bull just sucked?
Let's start with how Red Bull just sucked, honestly, because it was such a shock that they've never done well at Singapore, but it's such a massive difference from even the pace that they were showing the race before. So it's like, to me, I was honestly just astonished to see that they were actually struggling somewhere. Because at one point, I mean, when you're 10 races into a streak, at some point you're like, is this just a supercar and there doesn't matter? Like, they're just going to be good everywhere?
Yeah, you got a point. I saw someone suggest that it possibly could have been they sucked because the new flexi wing regulations that came in. Which, okay, maybe. If they continue to struggle the next couple races, I think there's more validity to that. But for now, yeah, definitely. Red Bull having a rough time, lacking speed. But even lacking speed, they were still fast in the race. And, like, you know, maybe could have won if strategy went a little bit better their way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they did get a little unlucky, like having their strategy blown up on lap 20 something. I can't remember which one.
The
Because
safety
they
car?
were, yeah, well, because they put both cars on the hard and they were gonna run long, which long for the hards turned out to be around 40 laps or so, which would have been perfect to go a hard medium strategy.
also, that safety car was very weird.
It was. It always is nowadays.
Yeah. Car hits the wall, drives back to the pits with its wing under it. No real visible debris out there. Car gets to the pits. Safety car.
Yeah, it was dropping debris the entire way. But
There's
yeah,
a
it
flag
was
for
a
that.
little. Yeah, of all the times to throw it, that
Yeah.
was a choice.
And then I thought they should have had one instead later when they did a virtual safety car. I don't like that they have the two options. I think just make it the one. Because like I feel nowadays, if they call one safety car, the next thing they go, well, we already had a safety car. We can't do that one, so we have to go virtual. And like, or just safety car everything.
Yeah. We already went out. I can't remember how long ago we did this, but we went over the whole safety side of it. I think
I
Sean had
know.
some good points with it. So,
Did I? I don't remember.
well, mostly the safety of it. How you can gather cars up and, have a giant window where people can run onto the track if need be without fear of some car coming along 40% slower than race pace, which is still really fucking fast.
Yeah, it looks slow, but even slow cars going fast is fast. So, yeah. Anyway.
I still don't want to get hit by a car at 60. It's much preferable than 200, but getting hit at 60 is still going to fucking hurt.
I mean, if they're going 200, it's your 40% less, or right, it's 40.
40 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's
so
still
you can still be
much
going
faster.
120. And that's fine, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, Red Bull sucked. That was glorious. Ferrari didn't fuck it up.
Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leclerc kind of
I'll
played
take
the
it.
team game.
And
Which is
also
kind of
fucked
nice
himself
and
over
a
in
little
the
shocking.
process.
Yeah. But like usually Leclerc is
Yeah,
not a guy to be a team guy.
Mm-hmm.
no.
He's been very
Typically, he's
selfish.
very much like, very much a, I am the leader of this team. You must put me first, or in my race first. Which I can't believe I'm saying about Leclerc, but you do have to admit the truth.
Yeah, that was, I would say, Sainz's best race of his career.
Easily. Like, if
Mhm.
you had to give that race a rating, 10 out of 10.
Like
Just
for
what he...
Sainz.
Yeah. Well, entire weekend, basically. On pole, lead off the start, lead all the way through. A little help from, say, a safety car maybe on the Red Bull strategy. But using Lando as a DRS chicane, basically, for the Mercedes on fresh tires, 10 out of 10 move.
That was genius.
Fucking ballsy as shit, too, because if he fucks up anywhere...
Yeah, when it's like, oh, he's
He's
closing good.
toast.
That's intentional.
Yep.
Like
No, but if
oh,
he screws up a corner and Lando gets too close and backs up into George, they're both fucked.
Yeah.
So the balls to make that call and pull it off is amazing.
Yeah, I think so.
So hats off to Carlos.
Yeah, he was a smooth operator.
Yes. Well, that's only the 150th time I've seen that joke today.
So I cannot name the episode "Smooth Operator."
I mean, if you want to, like, this is only his second win in F1. If you don't think he's going to win anymore in any fashion like this, sure, go ahead.
Honestly, I don't.
Probably not.
Not like this. Not in a way where it's like he is the underdog car, backing up the guy who's pressuring him to slow down the guys who are actually going to catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end though, when he said like his tires are gone, and he's still hanging on, and Norris is then again the driving chicane, and Russell chokes.
Yeah,
he did. That's a
he
choke.
did.
He hit the wall. Like
yeah,
what?
100%.
You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I'm not doing it intentionally. If that's the case.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he actually did just fuck up and hit a wall.
Yeah.
He forgot, the turn left part of taking a left-hand turn.
Yes. But yeah, like
So.
I thought the Mercedes had a very good weekend too.
Oh, 100%.
I think they fucked up giving George a chance. I think Lewis was faster.
Yes, like
I didn't
strategy-wise,
see the-
as you say,
Go ahead.
strategy-wise, it was the right call. Like they were chewing through the entire field after they came out.
Yes.
It was the right call.
But
To have
they
them
should have
both.
swapped positions, I think.
Yeah,
Lewis was
That's the
faster than
thing.
George.
yeah.
Well, it ended up being a terrible day for George, so
Yes.
perhaps that would have saved the day for him. At least he would have finished, maybe.
Honestly, yeah. But I think if you have Lewis go through from George, and again, I'm not really saying like I'm a big Lewis fan here, or having some Lewis bias, but he was the faster driver on that strategy. coming out of the pits the last stint, he had more speed than George. Obviously, George held him up, and he wasn't going to go overtake his teammate when he's fighting for the podium. That wouldn't have looked good.
Yeah,
So
but
you
so
let
how
the
do
guy
you
go for it, and he bins it.
Yep, but at the same time, how do you make that call, George? We need to give up a podium, buddy. Like, there's a couple laps left, and you need to give up the podium.
Yeah.
I think you should have given Lewis a chance to attack them. And I think Lewis probably could have done a little better than George. He's just that little more aggressive. Could have done his patented. Oh, I tried. I went around the outside. Went around him in the runoff area. Whoops.
Yeah. When did
Lewis Hamilton special?
Yeah. When did they get? Well, that's the thing. They really caught up with like 4 laps to go, so they gave George like a chance. It's too late to swap at that point too.
They were a little more than 4 behind. But if you also think about it, when they came out of the pits, how George was a few seconds ahead of Lewis. Then by the end, they're nose to tail, right? Like,
yeah.
And
but
maybe he has more tire left, and I don't know. It's a hard one, but I think if it's if roles were reversed there, I think Lewis might get second there.
Yeah,
I don't know about the win.
It's definitely possible.
But I think he can get by Norris.
It's definitely possible. There wasn't there was a couple good lunges from George, but I think it's also just Sainz being really smart and giving Lando a very powerful DRS pull when he needed it.
That is fair.
So,
but even when he lost it, 'cause he lost the DRS with a few laps to go. Like, I think it was 2 to go. Lando was defending, lost the DRS, and still couldn't get by him.
Yeah, that is true.
And then that's when George puts in the wall.
Yep.
Choke artist. Anyway, good for Norris to get P2 also.
Very good race from
It was a good weekend all around for the non-top 3. You know what I mean?
And it's been said multiple times already over the last couple months. This is like how exciting it could be if we didn't have Red Bull.
Yeah.
And Red Bull has sort of sucked the excitement out of it, but it's amazing how like tight the actual racing is.
Also, I didn't see
without them.
I didn't see one person gif the Happy Gilmore Shooter McGavin line of oh my god, Happy Gilmore is human after all. About Red Bull this weekend.
Well, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, it would have been a good one, eh? Oh yeah.
You know, you can make your own content too sometimes.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying in general. I'm surprised no one on the internet even made that one. And that one did just come to me now, to be honest. So.
Okay. Oh, no, if no one's seen it, go ahead and make it.
Save it for next week if they struggle again.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's really funny how, despite this weekend being a chaotic weekend, I would look at, besides Red Bull, every other team had a weekend that basically suits where they are in the points.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ferrari is the number 2 team. They won the race, came 4th, had a 1-3 start. You know, that's pretty good. McLaren, I would say, despite coming second, they're probably the 3rd team or 4th team after Red Bull, I guess. You have
and
Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren.
Yeah, and Piastri, so you mentioned Norris. Like Piastri had a really good race too, going all the way up to 7th from 17th.
Yep.
So,
and then what happened to him again?
In qualifying, I think he
got screwed by the Stroll crash.
I think so.
I didn't even talk about that crash.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if he got one last one, and I don't think he did.
Yeah, I think he got screwed over by that.
I can't remember where everybody was. My stream cut out when that crash happened, so.
That's fair. Steven put his fist through the computer.
Exactly.
Damn it, Lance!
The fuck are you doing?
Cost me some money. Guaranteed Q1 exit. But yeah.
Yeah, McLaren had a really good weekend. Hell, even Alpine was looking really good. Like Ocon was probably looking at a top 6 finish at the worst until his car sort of blew up. Yep.
Gasly was top 6. But yeah.
Yeah, but they could have had double points.
But that's Alpine all the time. It's one
Exactly.
guy in the points and one guy seems to fucking DNF.
Yeah.
Like, fairly rarely can they get both guys in the top 8. That'd be a great week for them. But yeah, Alpine has so many struggles there. Aston Martin, weekend to forget. But pace-wise, Alonso was up there, was doing fine.
Stroll looked great in FP3. Like, he was right there with Alonso.
Yep.
In terms of pace, and
then
then just literally a little too far over the curb, trying to push up, making up for his getting impeded by Sargent, I think.
Oh yeah, the impeding that wasn't impeding.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of impeding, which is like not surprising at a street track, I'd say.
Yeah.
Some of the tight sections, like fuck, Max got reprimanded for it
3 times and didn't get, but he
Yep.
should have got a penalty for it.
At that rate, yeah, take a penalty.
But like that's the thing people were saying was like, oh well, he didn't know and the team did communicate. It's like, yeah, that wasn't a fucking excuse. The other 3 times when he gave it to like Ferrari or to McLaren or to Aston Martin. But when it's Red Bull doing it, or even when it's Max doing it, you can't give a fucking penalty. Like that should be a slam dunk.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of stuff this week that was really talking about Red Bull favoritism. Yeah, I think there was a little bit of that shown.
Well, one was when he was just sitting at the end of the pit lane. That was sort of blatant, and they tried to play it off on the radio, but like you could hear it in their voices. Like there wasn't anything wrong with the car.
No.
Really. He just didn't go.
Yeah, that was cheeky. And it was like, traffic. No.
No.
Sorry, it was like traffic. It's like, so, is something wrong with the car? Wink.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something wrong, right? Oh, you misshifted? Oh, no.
Yeah, that does not look good for F1.
No.
Especially like when you have a top guy that people are already sick of winning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same thing with Lewis when he was winning. If he did something and everyone goes, that should probably be a penalty, and there's no penalty, everyone just gets more mad. It's like, come on, why are you not penalizing that?
Yeah. And then, like, it becomes, like, the rumors of favoritism, right? Of, like, well, do you just want or just not want to penalize him because it's Lewis Hamilton or because it's Max Verstappen and, like, stuff like that. It just breeds, like, those situations breeds that kind of discourse.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. It's not a good look, ever.
No.
Yeah, neither is
But does the FIA do good looks? I don't think so.
No, the FIA actually maybe they did say they were probably. It looks like Andretti's gonna get their team, so
Finally.
Max can bitch about fucking traffic some more. Where there's extra cars in the track,
Nice.
which is something they're gonna have to figure out. They're gonna have to figure out new qualifying.
It's already bad enough, that is.
It's not hard to do. You split the field into 2 groups of 12.
You just copy IndyCar?
No, but you go 1 car each.
Yeah.
Teams submit 1 car for that group, the other car for that group. And you can decide who you want. Maybe you want to sacrifice some guy and be like, he's up against some of the harder guys and he's pretty shit. Yeah, we'll put Sargent in that group against Max, against Lewis, against and maybe
But then
maybe it's only the bottom 2 get out. So instead of losing 5, you lose 4.
Yep. Then there's some of the gamesmanship as well. Like, oh, we're going to sneak Max into the first group when the track isn't as good in Q1. He can cruise past all the secondary drivers, easily breeze on through, and then Perez can get a slightly better track and face the tougher opponents.
True, exactly. You could actually have some strategy of which guy you put out then. Like, it's a very simple thing. They should do it. Are they going to? No.
That's too forward thinking.
For fuck's sakes.
We'll just stick everybody out there and we'll have the fun cat and mouse game of who's gonna not make the line.
I hate fucking FIA stupidity so much. In general racing, there's so much fucking like old school thought of, nah, we can't change it because this is how we always did it. Yeah. You know how you used to always do it? You used to do it when people always fucking died. And yet we got away from that. So, unless it's motorcycle racing.
Specifically on a certain aisle. Won't say where.
Oh no, it's everywhere in general.
But
It's everywhere.
But also kind of
You should hear the Marshall stories of the motorcycle shit.
okay.
Oh yeah, that was like hearing a lot of like when you bring up bikes, and you're with a
PTSD
marshal who's like,
flashbacks.
I don't do bikes. You always know that there's a story behind it, and it's usually someone got schmucked into the wall and they like watched, a soul leave, or who knows.
Well, it's like the I can't remember if it was a marshal or a news reporter. I think it was at this year's Isle of Man where someone died. And he's like, yeah, and then I turn to my left and I look over at his wife and kids. And it's like, I know something they don't know. It is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I saw that too. Yeah, that's I hate bikes with a passion. It's the stupidest fucking thing to race.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Anything else to talk about for F1 this weekend?
Yes.
What?
Oh.
Liam Lawson.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Liam
yes.
Lawson.
The
His
start
team.
of all the fun, pinching Max in Q2 by like 0.007, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was amazing. Scores his first points with his family there.
Yeah.
And
That
finally,
was a really good story.
Unless him or Sonoda injure themselves, knock on wood that they don't, unless there's another driver that gets brought in, you can finally end the joke of AlphaTauri having more drivers than points, because now I think they have one more point than they do drivers.
Yeah, they got 2 points this race with Lawson.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that joke's
So-
finally dead.
Okay. So if you're Red Bull,
Oh, I'd be keeping him, let me tell you.
if you're Red Bull and you've seen 2 weeks of Lawson now, what if you're in their seat, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking you keep Lawson.
Where?
You sign him for AlphaTauri next year.
Yep.
I disagree.
You want him in a
Really?
Red Bull?
Do you want him with in Checo's seat?
Maybe.
Mm.
I think he
beat
would be
Max
really good
in
at Red
Burst
Bull.
Machinery.
True. But the Red Bull was having issues. So can we say that he's as good? But I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, you beat Max. So
Yes,
I don't know.
but at
Maybe
the
they are looking at that.
And he
At
beat
the-
Perez this weekend too.
Yes. The only thing is, at the
Mhm.
same time, you jumped the gun on De Vries, thinking he was going to be something special after he put a dog shit Williams on or in the points. Maybe we don't jump the gun quite yet. You definitely need to keep him, and you need to figure out what seat. And because it's Red
Mhm.
Bull, there will be at least 1 or 2 heads rolling somewhere. Like Ricardo,
Mhm.
that he's done. Like, I know we said last week he's done. He's done.
Yeah, he's done.
He- Back.
It was unfortunate, but he's done.
Because you're not, unless unless the only person that gets moved out is Perez, and then it's Lawson or Sonoda, and then you keep Ricardo as he's our good PR guy, so we look like good people while we just kick Perez out the door.
I think you need to give Liam Lawson more love.
How am I not?
Him-
After 2
no, no.
races, we're saying he needs a seat in F1.
No, I'm saying he needs to be at the top team. Because
I see. Okay.
Because this is what Red Bull does.
hmm
This is their MO. It is trial by fire. You're fucking great.
Yeah.
You're on top. You're beating Sonoda. Nice. You're beating our fucking second guy. You out-qualified. Throw you in there. Sink or swim.
hmm
Yes,
It is
but
the
be
okay.
honest
Red
with
Bull
you,
way.
It is the Red Bull way.
Perez
and I
being
think
on that team
completely
is
safe.
the anomaly.
True. That is
Ricardo
actually
coming
true.
back is the anomaly.
I would just like to point out, you did say what should they do, not what would they do. I 100%
Actually-
believe that is something they would do. If I was them, I'd say you give him more experience in an AlphaTauri, and I think Sonoda's also earned the seat in if you do kick Perez out.
I think
agree.
the thing is though is
Yep.
like that's what they should. I think that's what they should do. But what they would do, I think, is Sean's scenario because
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Fair.
yeah. Okay, so we're all in agreement.
Yes. There's that all I'm saying is that there's a difference between like Sean's way is what they probably will do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
My way is probably what they should do, because again, Sonoda's been a good soldier with that car being absolute dog shit through the first half of the season, and he scored points in it. I'd say that car has also developed to the point where now they can steal
But-
some points here and there.
There's now saying they're going to announce him back at AlphaTauri next year.
Mm-hmm.
So
that wouldn't be a surprise.
that's unfortunate
Yeah,
for Yuki,
think
which makes me think
it is.
it's amazing how fast they're re-signing Yuki for that seat. Not even giving him a sniff at Red Bull.
But it's
But,
also
you
Red
know,
Bull.
They
So-
want something particular for that Red Bull seat. Like I think Sonoda has showed the promise of being maybe the leader in AlphaTauri, but I'm not entirely sure that he's shown the capability of being Max's number 2, because that's what you are when you're at Red Bull. You're Max's number 2. And can you challenge him that way? I'm not sure Sonoda can.
I think you need to put Liam Lawson in the car. Mostly
I think
because
he's showing good promise right now, but my guess is he's going to be finishing out the season. I don't think
he
Ricardo's
finishes
coming
out.
back.
No, Ricardo's career's done.
Unless he
Unless-
gets like an Andretti seat or something, or some other back marker.
Yeah.
It is going to be interesting when the Andretti team is added to see
Who goes there?
who is going to be there. Yes.
I have a thought of who could be at Andretti though. With again, with
'Kay.
some rumors coming out this week. I'll get to that in a minute.
What I was gonna say, what year are you looking at them coming in?
It's 2026.
Be
2025.
2026, right?
It could be either. It could be the year before, just to get their feet wet.
Let's say it's 2025.
Hmm.
Let's say they get in year before. Back marker team. Not good. So they get announced maybe in the off season. Next season they have to prepare. They're in 2025. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a rumor going around right now of a certain Mick Schumacher going to Alpine.
Going to Alpine.
There is a rumor that he's going to go to Alpine to then race for them in sports cars while
Okay.
Okay.
maintaining their reserve driver.
Okay.
We know Andretti has ties with Alpine, and they've been very friendly towards trying to get Andretti onto the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that is kind of what they're also envisioning, is maybe we can get a driver we would like, which would be Schumacher. Great kind of PR guy. Good to get him back in F1. You know, keep
Still
him,
relatively young.
yeah, keep him
Mhm.
not rusty racing. Maybe he can win Le Mans before coming to F1. Wouldn't that be great? Though
Mhm.
giving Alpine's reliability, don't know if that would happen.
Yeah,
Just
it doesn't
saying.
look good in that outlook, but I can see. I think that's a decent rumor in terms of who could end up at Andretti. Like that looks
That could be
pretty
fun.
promising.
Yeah, I think people
it could
would
be
like that.
fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Back to Liam Lawson. Yeah, he has a future in Red Bull, definitely.
yeah, 100%.
He'll either be in the top seat next year or the year after.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Because yeah,
I
they
would
might,
agree
they
with
might
you.
just hold on Paris another year. They really
Yeah.
might. He's got a
Maybe.
contract. Let him run it out and just be like, okay, we're cutting you.
Yeah,
And
because
that
well,
would be
and
an anomaly.
yeah, and at that point, it's hey man, you're 30. How old is he now? 31, 32.
He's
So
only
he's-
that young.
Look,
Um,
Sergio Perez is going to be an IndyCar driver in 3 years.
30,
Don't worry.
33. He's 33.
Okay.
So, but then he's 34, going on 35. It's like, man, if he keeps continuing like this, where his performance is just not up to the same pace as Max, when other teams might improve their performance and they actually need a second driver that can clean up the wins. Not that
Mhm.
again, not that he hasn't in the first half of the season, but the second half of the season so far, he's been, just nowhere
Yeah.
near.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just again, we need to go younger
Yeah. Maybe.
and bet on potential versus what we know.
And maybe Red Bull's plan is that you get Lawson next year in AlphaTauri, transition from full season. Perez gets his last year with Red Bull. Maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't. Then you transfer Lawson over to then be Max's number 2, And if then rule changes, shake up the grid at all, and Max wants to leave, your next fallback guy is Lawson. So, yeah, a lot of opportunity there. But God, does he look fucking good.
He has.
You know what? I want to know what the Kiwi population to major championships won ratio is. Because I feel unlike for most series, like it's high.
It's got to be really good.
Like you got Dixon alone for IndyCar. And then you have Scott McLaughlin and Liam Lawson, who's won what? Actually, he hasn't won a whole lot in terms of like actual championships. Like some karting ones. Let's see, Formula 2 was 9th, and then 3rd, 2nd, and Super Formula. So he wins. He doesn't win championships. Noted. So don't bet on him in the future.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So is that all for F1? We can move on from that.
Yep.
The only thing else I really think to talk about would be race-wise is NASCAR Bristol. Not a whole lot to talk about here, really. What was it? Denny won.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It was JGR the entire way. Chris Bell led stage 1 and stage 2. Denny brought it home.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, like, Denny's looked good, man. Denny's looked good. He's been, like, up there all 3 races. Fuck. I think he's got to be the... It is so weird with how they re-rack the points afterwards. Because I would say he would be the favorite with how he's running, but he's starting off 4 points back. So it's not like it's a huge differential. But fuck, imagine if they didn't re-rack, he'd look so much better right now. He's probably first.
Yes.
So.
And eliminated, you had McDowell and Stenhouse. No surprise.
Nope.
But
hey, they went down.
shockingly,
I was gonna say those two went down swinging.
They did. They tried. They put in a good
McDowell
effort.
finished 6th. Stenhouse was 10th. They both had top 10 finishes. Where if they were a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But
hey,
alas.
Yeah. Then last year's championship, Joey Logano fails to make it out of the first round.
Yikes.
And Kevin Harvick's final season ends with a whimper as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, not like Harvick really had championship aspirations, right? It would have been like, oh, let's make round of 12 and then see whatever happens.
Yeah.
Sucks to go out in the first round, but again, it's not like they were top 5 coming in and getting eliminated.
True.
So
23-11, both cars made it through. Bubba and Reddick. That was very surprising. Good for them. Then so you got Bubba, Blaney, Keselowski, Chastain. Those are your bottom 4 after re-racking. And then Reddick, Bell, Busher, Larson, Hamlin, Truex, and Byron. It's still anyone's championship.
Oh yeah. Well, you look at what happened with Truex. It could happen. You just need one bad stretch. But I don't think he's now. Imagine they didn't re-rack and he's still fighting for it at the bottom, barely slipping in. Yeah. But now he's back up to 2nd automatically.
But there's no point separating these guys. They're all so close.
Yes. To start, there's no points. But again, if he was to continue to struggle the way he is, those extra 25 points on the cut line to start may come in huge.
That's fair.
Again, imagine he struggles out in he goes to Texas where he's been good, but then wrecks out early or something like that, has another bottom 10 finish, and he's all of a sudden sitting minus 20 outside the cut line.
That's fair.
Oh, that would be a disappointing way to end your season.
It was also besides guys in the playoffs, one guy who's not in the playoffs, who's actually surprised me the last few races.
Who's that?
Because they've only been his last 3 races this year.
Who dat?
Carson. Fuck. How do you pronounce this?
Hocevar.
Hovercar.
Hover car?
No,
I look at his name and I every time I just want to call him Carson Hovercar. Yeah, it's Hocevar. Hocevar. Look it up, Taylor, and tell me it doesn't look like Hovercar. Anyway, he replaced Noah Gragson after he was stupid and lost his ride. His worst finish is 20th in 3 races.
Which is pretty good for a team that's struggled all year.
He was in Truck Series?
He's done Truck Series for the last 3 seasons. He's, done a couple odd races. He's had 3 full Truck series. He's raced 5 Xfinity races total. And he's up into Cup, and his worst finish is 20th and his best is 11th. There might be something here. He's only 20.
Yeah, he's very young.
Yeah, he looks like a baby. But, he's also apparently tall as fuck. Puts you to shame, Steven.
Really?
Yeah.
How tall is he? Yeah, I'll find it out later.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, so I think he also should get a shout out.
Yeah, and you know what? Will get a shout out in the form of a seat if he keeps performing like that.
I think it should be guaranteed for next year. I really do.
Well, who are you moving out of the seats now? There's a lot of shuffling that's already happened, so
we will see. We'll see where those things end up.
Yeah.
Some team should be smart and grab them.
Yes.
Like some big team.
You know what? One team may have already put out some plans for him. So well, okay, so if we're done with Bristol, actually here, before we get off Bristol, round of 12, so we've got Texas, Talladega, and the Roval. Who's not making it? Pick one driver that's not making it.
Keselowski.
Okay. I don't hate that pick. Taylor? Somebody.
Hold on, what are my options?
The 12 who are still in it.
The 12 who are still in it, and who's still in it. Okay, hold on.
Bubba, Blaney, Keselowski, Chastain, Reddick, Bell, Busher.
You can pick any of the top guys.
Larson, Hamlin, Truex, Byron. That is from bottom to top. So Bubba's your worst, Byron's your top guy. Sean picked the 10th driver going in, by the way.
Part of me wants to... I don't want to choose Byron because I always choose Byron. I'm going to go with Bell.
No, I was going to say not making it out.
Yeah,
Byron.
Who doesn't make it, so Byron would be a good choice.
Who doesn't make it?
Yeah, who's getting eliminated after those 3 races?
Bubba.
Yep, that's also a pretty safe pick. I'm going to say Kyle Busch.
Okay, fair.
He's struggled, and I don't know if he'll make it, but we'll see. Again, 3-race stretch, anything can happen. Who knows? Again, Truex could struggle. What was I saying? Oh, we had where was it? We had some news coming out of Spire because they have purchased a charter for $40 million.
That is absurd.
Do you know what they were going for back in? I was listening to.
Was it like 15?
No. So when I was listening to the teardown earlier, 2018 was 5 years ago. I know we like to think it was like 10 or 20 based on time being a social construct. 2018, Sean.
3 years ago. COVID years don't count.
Fair enough. Charters were going for like $2 million. That's how much they've appreciated in 5 years.
That's absurd.
Wow.
It's like fucking Canadian housing down there.
Oh, triggered.
Yeah, please don't. Ugh.
So, anyway, Spire.
Economic statuses.
Yeah. Anyway, Spire picked up the 78 charter, and they've signed, and they are in partnership. It's not a. This was very much emphasized in Jordan Bianchi's thing. It's not a lease. They are partnering with Trackhouse to have Zane Smith in the car in 2024.
Interesting.
With Spire, and he's then going to go to Trackhouse on the same charter, I think, as a third car in 2025.
So it's like kind of like a financial handover.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
He's going to race under Spire, help Spire get some money, and then they're going to basically sell it to Trackhouse. I think that's basically how it's working.
That's
Again,
not a
it's
bad
weird.
plan, really.
It's weird because it sounds like a lease, but it isn't. But again, it was very emphatically put out that this is not a lease
It's a
of the
partnership.
charter. This is we have purchased it with our money. They are going to help us run the team financially through the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will get the charter later on.
Interesting.
So
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
it's a little weird. I don't hate it though for two smaller teams, right?
But holy fuck, 40 million for small teams is absurd.
That is insane.
Yeah. Well, but so now like this could be a really good investment for Trackhouse if they say, we're just going to sort of absorb Spire's charter if it continues to appreciate at the rate it's at, right?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because you say in 2 years it doesn't go up 10 million, 20 million.
Yeah.
Might only go up 2 million, but I mean, again, it went up 20 times what it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
So, again, if Trackhouse can then maybe add another charter for relatively cheap, maybe they can get a Carson Hocevar. Hovercar, whatever you want to say.
I will call him always Carson Hovercar. How do you look at that and not see? It does!
It does. Even though it is like Hocevar or whatever, it does look like
At a
Hovercar.
quick glance, I'm reading that as Hovercar every time.
It's also like if you just change those letters, it is Hovercar.
Exactly. I think you need an extra R, actually.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Unless you're from
so
Boston.
change them and add one.
No, you're from Boston, so have a car.
Have a cat?
Have a car?
True.
Smat Pack. Have a cat with Smat Pack?
Smack back.
Smat Cat
That's a
Pack.
fantastic commercial.
It is a great career. I hope he doesn't have a great career. We're just calling him Carson Hovercar forever. Because that will definitely stick around in our brains. Anyway, 2 things left to talk about. First, I think is, well, I'll let you guys decide. Do we want to talk about me and Taylor's marshalling day?
Marshals matter. Marshals matter.
Or do we want to talk about the silly season news in IndyCar today?
Okay, why don't we just get over with IndyCar? Because like the question is, who?
Finish
Okay,
the news cycle and then.
So IndyCar, Chip Ganassi today announced they're running a 5th car.
Very odd.
Yeah.
For next year, full-time entry, 5th car. Kiffin Simpson.
Who?
Hey,
Okay.
he's the pride of the Caribbean. From what I read, he was possibly the best thing coming out of the best racer coming out of the Caribbean. The point I made was, as far as I know, he's the only driver out of the Caribbean, so they're technically not wrong.
The best racer out of the Caribbean is and always will be the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yes.
It's facts.
Like I don't understand the whole who the fuck is this guy?
He's just like, I think like our biggest question is like, I mean, we haven't seen him in any of the series that you get into IndyCar, so it's like, who?
Yeah,
And
it is a
how-
little tough because the one race we would have seen him up close, they didn't race here, so
But he is 18 years old. 18.
What?
He's 18. He is 18 years old. He is
Hey,
run
he turns 19 in a couple of weeks.
at the moment
so
he
I
is
have
18
a lot
still.
of questions about this.
But he is
There's
18.
a lot of
His family's
questions.
from the Caribbean. I wonder what the fuck what is this check that Chip
How
wants?
much is he? Yeah.
Chip
how
is money laundering.
Chip needs that pay driver.
Or Chip is, it's either that or like, Chip is just needing funds to fund the Polo defense train.
Hang on.
That-
Honestly,
no.
that was brought up as well.
Put a pin in that
actually.
part. I do want to talk about that.
But yeah, I'm just quickly here. I'm looking. His father's name is Gip Ganassi. Huh. I think this might be money laundering. He's just paying himself and putting the money back into the Caribbean and then taking it out again. That's a tax loophole as hell.
Yeah, this is some kind of tax evasion. But yeah, he has won 1 championship running Formula Regional Americas Championship.
Formula Regional America's Championship.
They ran F3s, it looked like.
Okay, like that's not nothing, I guess.
No,
Like, that's
they had
again,
6 rounds.
yeah. So that's as a 14, 15-year-old. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Guys,
like 6
did you
cars
see-
ran full time that season.
Oh,
Sorry, 7 cars at full time.
ooh.
Okay, so he's from the Cayman Islands. He's a Barbados-born resident of the Cayman Islands.
Yep.
I feel like this whole money laundering scheme that Steven is talking about might be true.
Listen, this is some
What are the
kid.
Cayman
This
Islands
is some
famous
kid whose
for?
dad is paying a lot of money to get him an IndyCar. He should not be in. He's not going to last a full season next year. I guarantee it.
There's no way.
But he was second this year in the European Le Mans Series and third in the Asian Le Mans Series. You know, granted he has a team there and has a teammate who can carry him. But you know, good. His Indy Light season this year, he's finished 10th in the championship.
I'm sorry. The what? Which series was that?
Oh,
Fuck you, Indy NXT. So he has 2 podiums at least and 4 top 5 finishes in Indy Lights.
apparently they won Petit Le Mans in 2022. Or he was part of the team that won Petit Le Mans in 2022 in the GTD club.
Again, you're part of a team. I don't give a shit. You're not part
He's
of
a
a team.
development driver for Chip Ganassi?
Here's my hot take for Keefen Simpson.
Is that how we pronounce it? Kiefin?
I have no fucking idea. Kiffin?
Kiffin?
For young
Kiffin?
Simpson, I would have taken Jamie Chadwick over him.
I mean, they're only like a couple points apart in the championship. So.
Oh, they're a couple points apart. But actually, if you go head to head during the season, she beat him 7 out of 6 times.
That math doesn't make sense.
Sorry, 7 times. She had 7, he had 6 in the head to head.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was 7-6 in the head to head for Jamie Chadwick.
Gotcha.
And she was
Just
a
when
rookie. This was his 3rd season?
his 3rd season. Jesus.
Yeah.
Indy Lights, yeah.
So this is a fucking...
2nd season.
Sorry, second season. Oh, yeah. He had more points his 1st season. So,
Without any podiums.
yeah. He got disqualified this year. Anyway, this is a disaster signing for Chip. I just hope the check... He gets the check first before he allows this kid in the car.
The Mazepin clause in every contract now for a pay driver.
Yep. Make sure that check does not bounce.
Yes.
Cash it. But yeah, I have no other notes on this. That's a weird ass signing. Chip to run 4 cars or 5 cars.
5 cars.
Though, like Taylor mentioned of the whole Pelot thing, is this Pelot insurance? If Pelot
Maybe.
is legally told he's not allowed to race next season because of contract, yada yada, whatever. Is this we're gonna run 5 cars, you're actually only gonna run 4, and this is your pay driver?
It's one way to keep the cash flow going.
Mm-hmm. Or is it also you're getting that money up front to then pay off McLaren to fuck off?
Could also be that. That was brought up by... I don't know if it was even serious or if it was just people trolling, but it was brought up. And honestly, I looked at it and I was like, I could see it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw this signing and seeing that he's from the fucking Barbados and Cayman Islands was just the what's Vince McMahon's son again?
Who?
Vince McMahon's son.
Shane?
Shane. The Here Comes the Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all what I thought of this is the Here Comes the Money.
Idea.
Money, 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 money. Are you writing that down to a TikTok to make?
Yep.
Good job. So, that's just that's a weird one. Anyway, on some fun stuff to end the episode on. Taylor, we did marshalling this weekend. You converted me.
We did. Yes. Ha 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 ha.
On as a
So,
cultist.
would
You
you
heard it here
share-
first.
Definitely.
Would you like to share your experience with the class?
I hung out in a corner with Taylor and some guy that chain smokes the entire time, and that was basically And we flagged things, and the most exciting part of the day was when a car blew up in front of us, catastrophically.
Yes.
Might I add?
It was a very, very major fire. And it happened very quickly.
Yeah. So
Oh, fun fact for you about that, Sean, because I
What?
found out about this after. The scrutineer has no idea how that fire started.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
They know it was a fuel fire.
Yeah, no shit. The thing went up in like fucking firework.
But where the fuel cell is in the car, everything from where the fuel cell was not burnt. It was not touched.
Sabotage.
The only thing that was burnt was like the cockpit area of the car. So like the nose was okay. The nose of the car was fine. It was that middle part, and then so the fuel cell's like behind the driver, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't burnt. And they
That's-
cannot, for the life of them, figure out how the fuel got to where it is to light a fire that was that big and that quick.
If
Well, 'cause-
that ain't the start of a true crime doc, I don't know what is.
Well, to be fair though, and I think they should ask us how the fucking fire started because we saw it. The fire started in the engine. It was coming at the back of the car.
Yeah.
It was on the engine where you could see it under the engine cover, starting to be on fire. So the
So the
guy
thing
came
is-
through 5 at Mosport.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the fire as he's going through 5. Like it just starts. He's at
Yes.
5. He is engulfed in flames by the time he gets to 5C.
Engulfed, which is like maybe a second, 2 seconds at the most.
Yeah, like he is like this car is up. So that's ridiculous. They have
was.
no idea how that started, and apparently the fuel cell's fine.
No, but like that. But that's the thing that's that's confusing them is the fact that they can't figure out how it started, because it should be pretty clear, but it's not. Because and then I told Peter, I was like, this is where the fire started because we had seen it, right?
Yeah.
Like it was driver's left underneath the middle of the car,
Mm-hmm.
and where it started, it doesn't make sense
Yeah,
to
that's
the
weird.
mechanics, and they can't figure out how the fuel would have gotten there in the first place. Other than perhaps because the car is built to a different standard than what it is here. I think it's the American standard. They think that perhaps something in the regulations that are a little bit different. But anyway, that's like the fun fact behind that incident is that they just like literally have no idea.
I have
But
no
that
idea.
was our
Yeah.
like
Yeah, so basically
exciting
this
thing.
guy gets lit on fire in front of us. Car goes up. It didn't stop in front of us. Stopped at the Marshall station in front of us, Steven. They dive out. They're getting him out of the car.
Yeah.
Like in 30 seconds, they've used up both fire extinguishers on this car. Nothing is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
At one point, we're waving like 4 different kinds of flags.
Yeah, we have like a red flag, a debris flag, like both yellows, and just like the white flag. Everything's going. But yeah.
Everything was going. It was an interesting time, but like the way I will say, like Brandon did say, like, you know, you and the other QA there like reacted very well to the situation. Like seeing something like that on your first day can be kind of like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing with my life? But you guys jumped into it like really well, even though I kind of like was just like
Taylor's reaction was fire. My reaction was like, oh, cool.
Would you look at that?
I was like,
Someone-
it's
hey,
on fire, it's on fire, and I start waving immediately.
I'm like,
Meanwhile, Sean's sitting there. Someone should probably deal with that. Anywho,
Oh,
no, my whole thing there was like, okay, what flag do I fly? Do I go yellow or do I go white? Because he's kind of slow. Which flag? And Taylor's just like starts waving.
blue flag, blue flag.
I'm immediately just like, wave yellow. But like, even though, because like the fire started in our corner and then like continued at 5C, like we're still covering on the flags because like 5C, there's nothing they can do. And apparently, yeah, it was just like,
Yeah, there was no flags there because they were fighting the fire.
yeah,
I found it so
it
funny
was
though.
like
In the school, they literally talked to us about like the like responding to incidents. They're kind of like, we're gonna skip over this part. You're not really gonna be responding to incidents at all. And then like literally the next day, I'm watching two marshals jump at a car that's on fire. Yeah, okay. I think I probably should
it doesn't
read up in
happen.
that section.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, and as a QE, you're not allowed to respond. So like, if that had happened in our corner, it would have been me who's like running, trying to put this fire out. But
With all due
yeah, it
respect,
was, like,
if the guy's on fire, I would probably do something about it.
well, you're like the whole thing is that you're supposed to, but like because you're technically like a QE, you're not supposed to respond. But like, what are you supposed to do in that situation if it happens? Like,
Let the guy burn in the car. Yeah, imagine Nicky Lauda's awful fiery crash guy sitting on the side. Yeah, not my problem. I can't do it. Not allowed.
yeah. I would hope that like safety, like the safety in 5 would have gone very quickly and like just dispatched anyway. But yeah,
Or fuck Grosjean's crash. Grosjean's crash. Marshall there. Hey, I'm not. That's above my pay grade. I'm not allowed to respond to that. Someone else has to do it. Ted, come quick.
Again, yeah, it's mess. But yeah, it happened. But otherwise, our day was pretty quiet. Like we didn't have much going on.
Yeah, we had a couple guys pull up to stop, and that's about it.
And we had a good time. We got to hang out for 8 hours.
Yeah.
My condolences.
Yeah, it was a great time. Great time.
I don't know which one of you two I'm saying it to, but my condolences.
That's fair.
Why? We had a great time.
We actually
Just
did.
you wait, Steven. Don't worry. Your time is coming.
Yeah, just you wait.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
What?
Don't talk to me. If I'm at 10, don't talk to me during the school because then they'll put you with me for 8 hours the next day. Guaranteed.
Is that why I was with you?
Yes, because they're like, who are you talking to? And I was like, oh, Sean. And they were like, okay, so we'll put him with her.
All right, I'll just talk to Sean. We can go.
They're not going to put you with
no,
him.
you wouldn't be able to put me. I'm too new also.
I was going to say, it could be just like we're back in school again. We're not paying attention. We're listening to Robin Williams' Weapons of Self-Destruction. What's the probability of this? I don't know.
We were terrible students. Anyway, but we could do it, Taylor, in 5, the 4 of us. Or like us 3 plus like someone else. And you could be in charge of us.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
We can drag Kevin out. Christina?
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah, maybe.
Kevin. I've got Christina working on that.
No, she's our photographer. Never mind.
Yeah, she should be there for photos. She shouldn't do
Yes, that's
she
the
can
plan.
do the social media stuff.
Ooh,
Although she did say she would want to try eggs to understand that part of it and then do the...
Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna crew up the
Photos.
entire thing. We're gonna fill every single position.
Yeah, everyone we know, Marshall.
Yeah, it'll be like
Yes.
What was it? 2008 crash where it was just like, here's what we're all gonna do. We're all gonna say that we worked at Circuit City. Circuit City's closed down. They can't verify it. You were my boss. I was your boss. We all have great resumes.
Oh, yes. Back in like the recession and everything. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
Problem
time's
solved.
coming soon enough.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, it was a good time. Basically, the moral of the story is that, Steven, you need to be a marshal next year.
I'll consider it.
Okay. Well,
Just
you're
give me
being
more
told
than
that
10
you're going
minutes
to.
ahead. Give me more of a heads up than 10 minutes.
I'm literally giving you the heads up now. Go fill out the Google form.
I won't remember
and you
this.
will
I won't remember this come April.
Okay, well, I'll remind you.
We'll remember this. We'll
We'll
drag you
remember
out.
this.
Yes.
We're gonna
Find
drag
out
you
what the day is so that way I can sign up and make sure I don't have anything first.
He's got a point.
Okay,
I don't know
that
what I'm
is
doing
true.
in April
Well,
now.
once
deal
I don't know what I'm
with
doing
this
tomorrow.
next year.
Yes.
we'll be talking about it.
And next week, we'll also be talking again of all things motorsports. So thank you very much for listening to this episode, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.